Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Acupuncture is My Life show. Now, we're gonna set off on a 6-month journey discussing a myriad of ailments and how individuals can benefit from acupuncture treatment. Now, I'm not just gonna focus on just acupuncture. I'm also gonna discuss acupressure, because the only real difference between acupuncture and acupressure is one is treatment with the insertion of needles into the body, and the other is just simply applying pressure for a certain amount of time and stimulating that point, which is called an acupuncture point. Now, in upcoming episodes, I plan to discuss many disorders with a heavy focus on acupuncture as well as the human psyche. Because as a result of what we've gone through, let's say over the past year and a half at least, many individuals have endured different types of emotional/psychological problems, or mental problems, should I say. Along with discussing how an individual with different mental/emotional disorders can benefit from acupuncture, I will also discuss Eastern nutrition, because acupuncturists are well versed in Eastern nutrition. Because a lot of times it takes more than just an acupuncture treatment or acupuncture treatment sessions to help resolve certain disorders in which an individual may be faced with. A lot of times, food serves as medicine. As a matter of fact, all times. Because you are what you eat, and whatever you put in your mouth has or presents or represents a certain outcome. So acupuncturists are well versed in that. Now, I know throughout the course of 6 months, many of you guys are gonna have tons of questions, because as an underserved community, there's a lot that you need to know about acupuncture. So before we even get into long episodes discussing the human psyche or different diseases or disorders that acupuncture can treat, or even acupressure, I recommend you download, and it's free, download the Acupuncture is My Life app. If you have an iPhone, you can go to the Apple Store. If you have an Android, you can go to the Google Play Store. It's free, and it'll allow you to ask questions after a show that can be possibly, or rather I should say possibly, be answered in an upcoming or following or succeeding episode. So download the Acupuncture is My Life app as soon as you get a minute, because like I said, it's free. I will not only discuss how acupuncture can help deal or treat different diseases and disorders, I will discuss how Eastern nutrition, food is medicine, can help with various disorders. I will discuss Moxibustion Therapy. And Moxibustion Therapy is awesome. I use that on a lot of my patients here at the Acupuncture is My Life clinic in New York City to treat and resolve many disorders, not just pain, all right? And I will also discuss cupping therapy, because cupping therapy is very important. I love using that to treat different types of pain disorders, but cupping therapy, to many people's surprise, can treat many diseases as well, okay? And I know as I'm talking right now, many of you are wondering, what is acupuncture? Well, acupuncture is basically the insertion of needles into specific acupuncture points on the surface of an individual's body, basically to stimulate and adjust the flow of qi in the person's channels or pathways in which qi travels, like throughout the entire body. By adjusting the flow of qi within the body, an acupuncturist can relieve many common disorders and symptoms to restore a harmonious relationship between yin and yang. You see, yin and yang represent a dynamic balance which is key to our overall health. And because for the most part, when yin and yang are in harmony, your body can actually heal itself, believe it or not. You see, a disharmony between yin and yang usually occurs as a result of pathological changes involving either an excess or deficiency of yin and yang occurring when the body has been affected by some sort of, let's say, pathogen. Now, disease will not necessarily occur unless this pathogen is strong enough to cause a derangement between yin and yang internally. So to learn more about yin and yang relative to acupuncture and how an acupuncturist perceives the functions of the internal organs, again, simply download the Acupuncture is My Life app at either the Google Play Store or the App Store on Apple. The sooner you download the app, the better, because in upcoming episodes, I will be discussing a variation of mental, emotional, as well as physiological disorders in which acupuncture can actually treat. Whereas if you were to have any questions, you can ask an acupuncturist here at Acupuncture is My Life via the app. Now, after this commercial break, I will discuss the importance of Eastern nutrition and why Eastern nutrition works well with regular acupuncture wellness treatments. I'll be back shortly. Acupuncture is my life. 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 Welcome back. Now, I hope you downloaded the app during the commercial break so that if you were to ever have any questions regarding any of the episodes and disorders we spoke of and how acupuncture may treat it or be beneficial to it, you can engage in a chat session with either myself or one of the Acupuncture is My Life acupuncturists here at the Acupuncture is My Life clinic. Now, Eastern nutrition. Every few episodes, we will discuss Eastern nutrition. There will also be a cooking segment where Chef Kiara will cook certain dishes that are beneficial for your health pertaining to specific disorders or diseases. Let's use examples such as she will do a cooking show on foods that are great for hypertension, i.e. high blood pressure, foods that are great for diabetes, flu, COVID, pneumonia, and many others. I leave that up to Chef Kiara. We'll just surprise you in Eastern nutrition episodes. Now, Eastern nutrition is very important because you are what you eat. And I'm sure quite many of you understand that. But there are those that don't understand. Some of the things in which you put in your mouth can be hazardous to you either in the short run or even the long run as well. Okay, so we have to be very careful as to what we eat, and we have to become better in tune with our bodies. That's why Eastern nutrition is important, because sometimes Many individuals don't understand when our bodies crave, let's say for instance, a certain flavor. That is your body indicating that, one, you can be deficient with regard to a certain types of food that possesses a great deal of that flavor. Let's take, for instance, you may experience a craving for salty foods all of a sudden. Now, to an acupuncturist, that can be a sign of kidney deficiency because salt, as a flavor, is tied to the kidneys. And I'll go deep into detail with regard to that on different cooking episodes with Chef Kiara. Now, I'm sure some of you are asking, what is Eastern nutrition? Now, as I stated earlier, yin and yang represent a dynamic balance, which is key to our health. Now, when it comes to Eastern nutrition, an acupuncturist understands the energetic effects of food, its thermal nature, as well as its flavor, and how these energies are used to maintain and improve our health throughout the 5 seasons. Now, when I speak of thermal nature, I speak of a particular food's capacity to warm or cool the body. Let's say, for instance, if you're feeling hot or cold, an acupuncturist may recommend you eat foods that run counterbalance to those tendencies in order to restore internal balance relative to yin and yang. You see, yang foods tend to be warm to the body, whereas yin foods tend to counterheat and cool the body off. Now, when it comes to flavors, an acupuncturist understands that when it comes to Eastern nutrition therapy, there are 5 flavors we tend to highlight, such as, let's say, sweet, sour, salty, pungent, and bitter. Now, these flavors tend to have specific movement and actions and effects on our bodies. You see, flavors tend to activate certain functions within the body, let's say such as digestion, excretion, sweating, and flavors tend to have a moistening effect as well. You see, by adjusting the flavors of our foods while cooking, we can control the direction of healing power of said foods. Let me give you an example, or rather a few examples. Let's say, for instance, sweet flavor. The thermal nature tends to be warming. Its actions are such that it harmonizes, nourishes, supplements. It also nourishes body fluids, and it can have a calming effect on the body and mind as well. Now, let's say sour flavor, which tends to have a thermal nature that's cooling, and this flavor's actions tend to be moistening, astringent. It tends to move inward, and it also eases muscle contractions as well as it nourishes yin. Now, when it comes to salty flavor, this flavor tends to have a thermal nature that's cooling. This flavor's actions tends to soften and loosen as well as moisten dryness, but as it also moves qi downward. This flavor tends to remove moisture, which benefits the kidney function. Now, pungent flavor tends to have, let's say, like a thermal nature that can either be warming or cooling, and its actions tends to be uplifting and, let's say, dispersing, as it tends to break up stagnation and invigorate circulation. Now, this flavor also has a tendency to open up your pores, which is great for, let's say, early stages of the common cold. And now, bitter flavor. You see, bitter flavor tends to have a thermal nature that can be cooling as well as cold. Its actions tend to be detoxifying. It tends to clear heat, dry dampness, as well as phlegm. And it tends to promote urination as well as bowel movements. These 5 flavors are very important to an acupuncturist because we understand that food heals because medicine is food, which make them one and the same as an important part of our everyday life, which is something I learned while training to become an acupuncturist. Now, when it comes to my patients, their relationship with food should have some focus in the values of preventing harm as well as promoting longevity. Now, after the break, we'll discuss Moxibustion Therapy and its benefits. Acupuncture is my life. 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 Hey guys, welcome back. Now we're slipping into my after acupuncture, my two favorite forms of therapy. And this one, being Moxibustion Therapy, my patients fall in love with it because it works wonders, especially if you're experiencing some type of pain disorder. And Moxibustion, I've gotten raving responses, reviews, after administering Moxibustion, let's say to treat COPD, asthma, individuals who are suffering from, let's say, flu virus, COVID, the common cold, pneumonia, and it goes on and on. And Mox is great for autoimmune disorders as well, and even chronic diseases. Moxibustion therapy is, you know what? See a local acupuncturist along with watching this show. And if you undergo regular wellness visits, some of your visits may require Moxibustion therapy. And I know you're sitting there right now asking yourself, what is Moxibustion therapy? Well, Moxibustion therapy is a form of therapy that involves the burning of what is called moxa wool, which tends to heat an acupuncture point on a person's body. You see, Moxibustion can treat a wide range of disorders ranging from, let's say, arthritis to prostatitis to even diabetes. Moxibustion tends to warm yang as well as nourish qi, and it can also dissolve blood and or qi stasis, as well as warm and dredge a person's meridian pathways. You see, targeted warmth from Moxibustion sticks can improve blood circulation as well as lymphatic circulation. And it can also accelerate cell metabolism, relieve inflammation, repair damaged tissue to allow for restoration of muscle as well as nerve function. Now, in future episodes, I will go well into detail as to how Moxibustion therapy can be beneficial in the treatment of many disorders. Now, after this commercial break, I'll talk about my next favorite form of therapy, and that's cupping therapy. So stay tuned. Acupuncture is my life. 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 Acupuncture is my... Okay guys, welcome back. Now I hope after the past few commercial breaks, you had the ability to download the Acupuncture is My Life app. Because trust me, you're gonna need that, because over the next 6 months, I'm sure many of you are going to have questions. This form of therapy, which I'm about to get into or brief you on, it's called cupping therapy. And I know you've seen, let's say, Olympic athletes with these circles like on their shoulders, on their back, or even some women on the beach that'll have these circles on their back and you're wondering like, what the heck is that? That's usually as a result of cupping therapy. Now, I love cupping therapy because I treat tons of athletes and they sustain a myriad of injuries, and there's always blood stasis or some form of chi stagnation that causes pain. Now, in upcoming episodes, when I discuss various diseases and disorders, and cupping therapy isn't just isolated to treating pain. It can treat a variation of diseases and disorders as well. And also, for all of you young ladies out there, I do cupping therapy for skin, facial rejuvenation, so it's great for that. But right now, we'll be discussing diseases and disorders. And the next time you see an athlete, even basketball players that have these circles on them, you'll begin to understand why it's there. And again, this is why it's always great to see your local acupuncturist, or even contact Acupuncture is My Life. Because cupping therapy, Moxibustion Therapy, Eastern nutrition, Gua Sha, Tuina, Tai Chi, Qigong, all of this can help balance yin and yang. Because when yin and yang is balanced, you're looking at the equivalent of homeostasis. And cupping therapy is a modality that can assist in this process. And I know tons of you who have not seen the circles on Olympic athletes or other athletes are wondering, what is cupping therapy? Well, cupping therapy is a form of therapy that uses cups to suction specific acupuncture points or even affected areas on the body's surface, producing negative pressure, creating warm stimulation to invigorate the movement of static blood or even stagnant chi, which usually causes pain. Now, many individuals who are aware of cupping therapy, but most are not aware that it can treat over 100 diseases. As we discuss diseases on this show, I will discuss how cupping therapy can be utilized to treat certain disorders. Now, cupping is great for easing symptoms of many diseases, as well as assisting in preserving one's health. So stay tuned as I discuss the variation of diseases and disorders, and that can also include mental and emotional disorders as well. Because when chi stagnates in certain areas of the body, it can create mental and emotional imbalances. And this is why, again, I say download the app so that after you watch an episode, I can answer the questions in which you may have. And the Acupuncture is My Life app is located in the App Store on Apple or in the Google Play. Now, in upcoming episodes, I'm going to start out with discussing mental and emotional disorders. And I may begin with depression. And I'm going to speak with Chef Kiara to discuss certain types of foods that may be best for you to eat relative to the various mental and emotional disorders that are there. So you guys sit back, let's get ready for a great fall and winter season and plenty of episodes discussing the benefits of not just acupuncture, but Eastern nutrition, cupping therapy, Moxibustion therapy, and I'll have special guests on the show, such as doctors of psychiatric medicine, psychotherapists, medical massage therapists, well-known fitness trainers, and more. So stay tuned, sit back, and enjoy Acupuncture is My Life.
Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture is my life. Acupuncture